What's going on, friends? Back again with another video. Let's talk about Castrol. Now, in previous videos, I've talked about how I switched brands of oil and got the Castrol, and I was quite intrigued. So instead of just buying another quart, I completely switched over to Castrol. Since then, I've noticed some changes that have happened. Now, when I had the Malibu, I used this one. Now with the Buick, I'm using this one. They both still say 10,000 mile protection. However, the wording is different. This one says 10 times better high temperature performance. This one says protects for 10,000 miles, 10 times better high temperature performance. Okay. Now, on the back side, where are we? LSAC 6 ACEA. Now, why is that important? Well, that particular piece of information, just like LSAC 6 and GM dextrose, is a standard test. And that test is associated with soot. How much soot is coming out of the engine. You don't want that soot to sit in there too long because it turns into carbon buildup. But on the newer label, on the newer Castrol label, Dextrose, you don't see that ACE. It's almost like, it's like when you haven't eaten chocolate for a while and you go to the candy store, you go to the gas station, you pick up some chocolate. It still tastes good, but it's just something different. It's something different about it. Then you flip the label over and you find out they done took out the gluten. Well, the gluten is bad for your health, so we had to take it out. You had to take it out, or did you choose to take it out? So now you're messing with my food. You pump the food full of all these unhealthy ingredients, and then you want to take out what you want to take out. Wow. Okay. So the question is the new formula just as good as the old one? Because clearly companies are starting to do that. Valvoline's new formula, the Restore and Protect, doesn't have dextrose on it. And from what I'm hearing, the Penzo Ultra Platinum doesn't have dextrose on it. So they're adding stuff in and they're taking stuff out. But with these changes, is it going to run better? Because if it's running the same, what was the point of taking it out? Well, today we're going to let the Buick stretch his muscles out. Let's go for a ride. Now, they suggest that you wait a good minute, at least a good minute, before taking off to let the oil flow through the engine. So we'll crank this baby up. Rough start. let it idle, just sit there and idle, the average, the 19.3, it'll get lower. When I drive back and forth, going a couple of places, taking long drives on the highway, it actually goes up. I believe, yeah, that's what I thought. So my official average, I guess if you want to call it that, my official average is 22.9. So far it's got, as you can see, 834.5 miles since I changed the oil. So with that being said, let's get out on the road and see what it do. Alright, we are on the road. It look like it might rain today, but that could be a good thing. I can check out this all-wheel drive system and these tires. So that is nothing for me to worry about. Now, I was reading on the forum that a lot of people end up trading in their Buick Encores because of a few reasons, actually. Some had problems with the braking system, but most of the people's complaint was that it lacked power and acceleration. I noticed that too. However, since I've been cleansing the engine, I've noticed some gains. Me in the other lane. I noticed that it does have pickup, not as much as you would maybe want. I mean, after all, it is a small 4-cylinder engine, so just how much power do you expect a small 4-cylinder to have? And then on top of that, yeah, it does have a turbo, but this turbo heats up. My understanding is that the turbo heats up quicker than the actual engine heats up. So when that oil hits that turbo to lubricate the bearings, the turbo's already hot. Now, I'm not sure how it's circulating through. Is there oil already in the turbo? And because from what I understand, they tell you to let it sit. When you do spirited driving, you gotta let it sit for a little bit and idle so you can get all the... Is this cut off? No, don't tell me my favorite road is cut off. Well, back in the day when I was doing my tire reviews, and I want to get back to that, there was this one road that I like to take. This one long strip of highway, freeway, highway, at any rate, and it looked like they're doing repairs. But yeah, the complaint was it lacks power, it lacks acceleration. I'm gonna try to slow down. There's a vehicle in front of me. I'm gonna try to put some more space in between us because they got cones out here, so they planning on doing some road construction or something. So I'm gonna drop it down to about let's see, really shouldn't be doing 36 on the highway, but okay. Acceleration. $60, $62, $64, $66, $65, $70, $72, $73, $77. Now, of course, that was not from a dead stop. But if you're on the highway and the freeway and you have to get out of the way real quick, I would say that, yeah, it could do it. I guess it just depends on one, what type of gas you have. Are you using a good quality gas? Are you using a fuel additive to strengthen the gas? A lot of people don't do that. That's why I've tested 3 or 4 different fuel additives. Right now, I've got the Valvoline Complete Fuel System Cleaner. I'm using that in here now. And what that's going to do is it's going to work its way through the gas tank, clean up the injectors, and hopefully it's going to take some of that carbon buildup off the back of the valves. Now, why is that important? If it takes carbon off the back of the valves, that means the valves can seat better. If the valves seat better, they can open and close better. Intake, better exhaust. Now with the turbo is operating off the exhaust. So that's important. Better flow of exhaust fumes, better reaction time for the turbo. Now, it's still a turbo, so you're going to get some lag as you try to speed up real quick. It's going to lag a little bit. But if you change your oil, maybe add an additive. I got a whole thing about fuel additives. Like 4 or 5 videos. Additives, you have 3,000, 5,000, and I believe there's one that says 4,000. I don't know offhand, but yeah. And I've tested some of the most popular ones. The Gumout, the what is that? Lucas. And of course now the Valvoline. And Gumout actually has 2. They have a big bottle and a smaller bottle, depending on what size your gas tank is. So I thought that was nice. The rain cleared up. Okay. That's cool. Last time I took that bridge, I ended up somewhere I didn't want to go. press exit. I haven't been this way in a while. Yeah. So yeah, I would say use the fuel additive. Everybody doesn't have the same size gas tank, so yeah, pick one. Read the back of the bottle, or you can just go through my videos and I'll tell you what size fits what size engine. Well, not what size engine, but what size gas tank. Now, as far as the Castrol, evidently all engines have a little soot in them, some more so than others. You want to keep that to a minimum or get rid of it altogether. I know for a fact that the Castrol worked before. Does it work now? I'm still doing my research on that. Does the Castrol now, the 530 that they have now, let me see. I think I went down the wrong street. That's okay. That'll let the engine get a little hotter, because I did just gun it going down the highway. You know, it amazes me how you go down the street and all the cars are in one direction facing you, but there's a whole stop sign at the end of the road, and you're like, am I supposed to turn down here or not? That's crazy. Then, of course, you have to be mindful of police officers. Really? I hate when they do that. They wait just as good as they get to the damn corner, then they want to put on their turn signal. I could have totally made that light. It was yellow. I slowed down, had my turn signal on. I see them coming. I wait, because I don't want to cause an accident. And then they get to the corner, slow down, and put on their turn signal. I just find that disrespectful. Very disrespectful. So, what's been going on with y'all? Y'all good? You okay? How's your car running? Mazda CX-9, I think. I think it's CS9. I might be wrong. The railroad tracks are decent. Well, at least the tires can take the railroad tracks without doing all that bumping and shaking and having the suspension toss you all over the place. So for me, on a Sunday morning, there's not a lot of traffic. Get in the vehicle and run it. Just run it for as long as you can, and then just turn back around and go home, or go get you some coffee or breakfast or whatever you do on your off day. And I say that because if you take short trips, the light is red. If you take a lot of short trips, you need to run that engine at least once a week. That's what they say. That's the general consensus. I would say twice a week. Like in my neck of the woods, ooh-wee. Oh, fuck. Okay, they got a grid up. It's been a while. And I'm like, where in the heck is this? Which way am I supposed to go? Then somebody behind me was blowing. Like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go. And I end up going the wrong way. I corrected my mistake, but still, there was a guy in the truck and he's looking at me like, you idiot. Well, it's been a while. It's been a while. But yeah, they put like a half a circle where I used to be able to go all the way through with no problem. They put a half a circle there, so you have to go around the circle. Other communities have them, but I just wasn't expecting to see one here. No biggie. But yeah, if you take a lot of short trips, take the vehicle out and run it on the highway. At least twice. I would say at least twice a week. Twice a month? Nah. I mean, I know everybody got busy schedules, but, and it might sound cliche, but an oil change costs less than an engine repair. So you choose. You want to change your oil a little more often, or you want to get another engine? You want to keep the engine running as long as you possibly can. Change your oil, get a good quality oil, and for a little extra protection, use a fuel additive. You don't have to use a fuel additive, but it helps. Now, the one that I'm using now, the Valvoline, it ain't been 6,000 miles yet, so we'll find out how much this particular fuel additive is helping. Because I know Lucas works, and I know Come Out works, and from my previous review, so does the O'Reilly's brand Complete Fuel System Cleaner. And after that one, I actually went into the spark plug code and took a look at the pistons. A lot of cleaning going on. There is a lot of cleaning going on. So I know those worked. This one, yet to be seen. But as far as the oil goes, well, the old Castrol 530 they had something in it where they had to put that label on there, ACEA. That's a qualification, just like the LSAC 6 and the Castro. But now they don't have it on there. The 540 does have it on there. And I'm like, why would the 540 have it on there and not the 530 if all engines have this in there? Have soot. Now, I can only assume, I'm not a chemist, but I can only assume that it's because the amount of soot is low enough to where it's not a problem. It's no biggie. On the 540 bottle, on the back, when it details what vehicles would benefit from that oil, BMW is one of them. And right, BMW has a lot of higher performing engines, and they rev up higher than your average Chevy or Buick engine. So I could see that. But at the same time, you got naturally aspirated, and then you have turbocharged. They make the engine smaller, and then they put a turbocharge to make up the difference with the power. I don't know. It's sometimes it gets weird. So I'm in the city limits now, working my way back to the highway. Nice. I like what they done. Oh my goodness. I'm kind of frustrated because it's been months since I've been over here, and they're doing more construction. So we will have to take a detour to get back to the Burger King's over here. Muffler shop. Interesting. So, yeah, so we had to take a detour. I'm going down this long stretch of road, but I know I'm going in the right. I know I'm going in the right direction because I can see the sunlight through the clouds. It's early in the morning. Sitco. What in the world? Okay. Sorry for the distraction. I just saw a Sitco sign on this road, this back road. There's some tanks. And I'm assuming that these tanks belong to Sitco, but Sitco wasn't over here a few years ago. So they bought this land with these tanks. And I know for a fact Sitco is a gas fuel company. So that's going to put them in competition with BP unless they're doing a collaboration. Competition's good. Competition's good. I like Citgo. Maybe I'll start going there more often. But to wrap this session up, now right then it was holding. I hit the gas, getting on the back on the highway, and it held for a few seconds. That's that lag I was telling you about. Turbos traditionally have lag, but once it spools up, once it pressurizes, you're good to go. So you want that lag to be as low as possible. Get you a good oil, something that's going to clean, lubricate, and protect. Change it every 10,000 miles. However, if you notice that you're getting poor performance, it's not always the oil. Let me restate that. If you notice that you're getting poor performance, it's not always the oil. You may have to just change your oil more often. So, say you usually change your oil at 10,000 miles, do 9 or 8,000 miles. See how that works. If not, do 5,000 miles. Change it every 5,000 miles. It's not always the brand of oil that you use. It's the fact that you're extending that oil interval. You stretching it out. And the oil has no more to give. The additives are burnt out. It's still lubricating, but all the stuff that strengthens the oil, the additives, is diminished or they're just gone. So you want to try to get a handle on that so you don't have to go so long without protection for the engine. I am back in my area. So just get out early morning on your day off, take it on the highway, take it on one of those really long back roads that hardly anybody goes on, and just let your engine breathe. Let it have a little fun. With that being said, people, I've enjoyed the ride with you all today, but I'm going to find something else to do today. Get out, enjoy the weather, enjoy the drive, be safe, and I'll see you later.